without giving any personal information. There are similar applications on the market currently, such as WhatsApp and Viber, but they save all messages on a centralized server that creates a vulnerable point for various attacks, such as man-in-the-middle attack. Our application does not use any centralized server, and we save our messages locally. Also, we use QR code to exchange personal information. We took all those measures to ensure that our application is as secure as possible. Also, our team consists of 7 people. 4 of our students are from Malmö University in Sweden, and 3 of our students are from the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computing in Zagreb. We had many difficulties, such as we worked in separate places. And the second big difficulty was that we had a heavy time constraint on our application, so we needed to be as efficient as possible. We decided to use Scrum as our agile method of development. Scrum defined a few roles that we need to fulfill. First role was product owner, second role was Scrum Master, the last role was development team. We also had sprints, they're 2 weeks long. That coincide with our lectures on distributed software development course. We also had 3 to 5 meetings per week, depending on our workload. Meetings were usually on Zoom, so we could see each other because we work distributedly. We also took notes of working hours per sprint, and we wrote a sprint burn-down chart accordingly to our efforts put throughout the sprint. We also took the notes of our meetings and put them in the minutes of the meeting document. But our agile methodology wasn't completely Scrum, it was a bit of hybrid because we also had a project plan from the beginning. The requirement gathering process started as soon as we received Score Contest project proposal. We then investigated the market for similar applications, and we found few that met some of our requirements, but don't met all requirements that we needed to do. Then we had a brainstorming session in between the team to gather all the possible requirements, and when we had some questions that we need to answer, we contacted our sponsor via email, and we had a Zoom session to conclude those questions. Furthermore, we put special emphasis on non-functional requirements, especially security. First of all, we decided to encrypt and decrypt messages. So we encrypt the messages that we are sending and decrypt messages that we are receiving. That took care of surveillance attacks because all those messages did not contain any personal information about users. Also, we decided to use QR code to ensure that our personal information are exchanged in a secure way. To make it even more secure, we allowed taking screenshots on QR code to mitigate sending those QR codes around.
As we already mentioned, we work distributedly. For the communication, we use Zoom, WhatsApp, Slack, Google Drive, and Trello. In the end, it turned out that the best way to communicate was through WhatsApp, and if there were any disagreements, immediately after, we would organize a meeting on Zoom.
The name of the application has a story behind it. Drongo is actually a bird species, and there is a fictional character detective named Drongo. By combining these 2 stories, we came up with a logo, a bird with bright eyes and a hat. Colors that are used for the application are classic blue and saffron. Classic blue is declared as the color of the year for 2020 by Pantone Color Institute. Coincidentally, what we have in common as a team is that our favorite color is yellow, so we decided to choose saffron as the shade.
So, our application architecture is based on the architectural design pattern, model view model. The main idea of that design pattern is to separate the UI logic from the business logic of the application. The main component of our application is the communication between 2 devices using TCP sockets. The communication is encrypted, and it is over local area network. Another important component is a foreground service, which listens on the TCP port, and each time a new message is received, it is placed in the database. Also, foreground service notifies another component, which controls our user interface, message view model, which is an observer for the foregrounds of a foreground service, and each time foreground service receives a message, it notifies the message view model, which updates the user interface and notifies the user that the data has been received.
Right now we are working on a
process went on and new functionalities came along, it was time to test the app properly. We use unit tests to verify that the logic of individual unit is correct. It is checked that the components are doing their expected job and they are communicating in the right way. The emphasis was on ensuring correct manipulation of data, the proper storage and retrieval of data from the database. We used JUnit 4 testing framework to perform unit tests. Next one were automated UI tests to ensure that the app meets its functional requirements and achieves a proper standard of quality. And for the last one, since one of the main requirements of our app was security and data and actions, we had to include some penetration tests in our testing process.
One downside of our application and the thing we left for the future improvement is the ability to exchange messages over the internet. Another two additional future improvements of our application that we want to add are a feature when user can set expiration time of a message and optimization for battery consumption.
Oh no. Confidential information of the company has been leaked. What should I do now?
A few moments later.
Are you worried about your privacy? You need a text messaging app that's free, open source, and doesn't store your personal information? I got a solution for you.
I present you Drongo, a peer-to-peer text messaging application. Let's quickly see all the features that this app has to offer. So firstly, you want to create your account and give a username that you will use throughout the app. The app doesn't require any personal information such as your phone number or your email address. Next up, you have to choose your avatar. You will use this avatar as your profile picture. Next, you need to give a strong enough password so that others cannot guess it and cannot brute force it to see your messages. After you have created your account, you'll be automatically prompted to the main screen of the application. The main screen of the application is the contact screen where you can see your new messages and add new contacts. To move through the app, you can use the side navigation. There you can see all the menus that you can go to. To update your username, you first click on the existing username and then in this screen you choose a new one. If you want to see what this app is all about, you can go to the About screen. To add a new contact, you and your contact need to be physically in the same network to scan each other's QR codes. Let's see now how the messages are sent and received from both sides with the phones on the left and on the right side. So you can see the phone on the right side is sending some messages and the phone on the left is receiving them. You can see that the notifications are popping up as the messages are being received. To customize these notifications, you can go to the notification screen and choose what notifications you want to receive. You can also customize these in the Android notification settings. Now we can see how the messages look when you reply from the other side as well. If you want to customize your contact, maybe change their username or add a new profile picture, or maybe you want to delete them from your contact list, you can do that in this screen. If you don't want anyone to read your messages, you can log out of the application. You will still be able to receive the notifications, but if somebody steals your phone or takes it away from you, as long as you're logged out and they don't know your password, you are safe. If by any chance, not recommended, you forget your password, you will have to set up a new account as your old one will be deleted. Become part of our Drongo family now.
That we want to add
The main goal of our application is to exchange messages between two users without giving any personal information. There are similar applications on the market currently, such as WhatsApp and Viber, but they save all messages on a centralized server that creates a vulnerable point for various attacks, such as man-in-the-middle attack. Our application does not use any centralized server, and we save our messages locally. Also, we use QR code to exchange personal information. We took all those measures to ensure that our application is as secure as possible. Also, our team consists of 7 people. 4 of our students are from Malmö University in Sweden, and 3 of our students are from the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computing in Zagreb. We had many difficulties, such as we worked in separate places, and the second big difficulty was that we had a heavy time constraint on our application, so we needed to be as efficient as possible. We decided to use Scrum as our agile method of development. Scrum defined a few roles that we need to fulfill. First role was product owner, second role was Scrum Master, the last role was development team. We also had sprints, they're 2 weeks long, that coincide with our lectures on distributed software development course. We also had 3 to 5 meetings per week, depending on our workload. Meetings were usually on Zoom, so we could see each other because we work distributedly. We also took notes of working hours per sprint, and we wrote a sprint burn-down chart accordingly to our efforts put throughout the sprint. We also took the notes of our meetings and put them in the minutes of the meeting document. But our agile methodology wasn't completely Scrum, it was a bit of hybrid because we also had a project plan from the beginning. The requirement gathering process started as soon as we received Score Contest project proposal. We then investigated the market for similar applications, and we found few that met some of our requirements, but don't met all requirements that we needed to do. Then we had a brainstorming session in between the team to gather all the possible requirements, and when we had some questions that we need to answer, we contacted our sponsor via email, and we had a Zoom session to conclude those questions. Furthermore, we put special emphasis on non-functional requirements, especially security. First of all, we decided to encrypt and decrypt messages. So we encrypt the messages that we are sending and decrypt messages that we are receiving. That took care of surveillance attacks because all those messages did not contain any personal information about users. Also, we decided to use QR code to ensure that our personal information are exchanged in a secure way. To make it even more secure, we disallowed taking screenshots on QR code to mitigate sending those QR codes around.
As we already mentioned, we work distributedly. For the communication, we used Zoom, WhatsApp, Slack, Google Drive, and Trello. In the end, it turned out that the best way to communicate was through WhatsApp, and if there were any disagreements, immediately after, we would organize a meeting on Zoom.
The name of the application has a story behind it.